Time for another Soccer Down Here 1v1. For this one, we check in on the Chattanooga Red Wolves and someone that we got to see first and foremost at Dalton High School, one of the most storied players in Catamount soccer history. 2019 state championship, Gatorade National Player of the Year, goes to Wake, goes to Mercer, and now he has signed his first pro contract with the Red Wolves. Omar Hernandez. Omar, thanks for hanging out for a 1v1.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so let me go back a little bit. And the interesting part about what we do here at SDH is we broadcast high school games and do multiple high school games in a week.
Mhm.
Coming up in very short order, it is Northwest Whitfield and it is Dalton, and that is happening Tuesday night at Chapel Harmon. So for those who've never been, for those who've never seen Northwest Whitfield Dalton, regardless of the sport and whatever frame of mind we're talking about here, how would you break down the rivalry there in Whitfield County with the Cats and the Bruins and what it means to the fabric of, say, soccer there in the county?
I mean, it's just basically how I would describe it, another Classico. Um, we also have Southeast Whitfield High School, which I would consider that more of a rivalry, more as like Real Madrid versus Barcelona. So I would consider Northwest more like Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid, that type of rivalry. I mean, either sport, whether it's soccer, basketball, baseball, the fans are there, the emotions are there, and it's basically a must win for either school to basically have that morale as I'm the team here in Dalton.
Nothing like bragging rights for 364 days when it comes to going up against Southeast, going up against Northwest. So when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to your time there at Dalton High, what would you say are the memories that you carry with you? Is it the championship with all of your teammates? When you think of your time there at Dalton High, what sticks in your brain?
Just not well, the championship is always there just because Dalton is rich in history in that, but I would say just creating friendships and just having memories as like laughter because I was able to do it with a bunch of my friends that I grew up with. We went through hard times, the first couple years we were so close, but we always were knocked out. So finally, senior year, able to win that state championship with them was like a sigh of relief because we're I guess we could say we were one of the best teams in Dalton, like in the history for Dalton. So to not win a state championship and possibly go out without winning one was like we can't do this. We have to win the state championship before we leave. So it was just a sigh of relief.
When it comes to your career and your advancement and your growth as a footballer, how would you explain what what Matt Cheeves has meant to you in your growth there in the high school years that you start in high school, you win the championship as a senior, you go on to college, and now you're working your way to USL League One. How integral was Coach Cheeves and the Dalton staff in those first steps of success that you got to accomplish?
I mean, they saw my talent from the very first day of tryouts in freshman year. Um, and then joining the team, they knew I had it, but there was obviously other guys older in the senior groups who had won the state championship the year before, the 2 years before that. So coming out freshman year, I didn't start many games, but I would come off the bench and play impactful minutes. And then as sophomore year, junior year, senior on, like I would start now. And just what they gave me was a sense of belief and just being able to trust myself and my abilities. I think not just me, but many players who are good just don't have that confidence in themselves or don't believe themselves. So that's what I think I take from not just Coach Chief, but everybody else in that coaching staff, that the ability to believe in myself and my game.
Then you go to college, it's Wake, it's Mercer, and you finish up your college time. How did you continue to grow and evolve from the player that was there at Dalton, left, and then got to spend some quality time in college? How did your game continue to grow and evolve in that second stage?
in that second stage, Coach Bobby Muse just basically opened the game for me. I thought I knew the game, but there is so much more than one realizes about such little details that can change the game or just change even like your players, the team. He basically opened the game for me, and it really helped my game out and made me improve as well.
Now, Chattanooga Red Wolves, they knock on your door. And it's like, hey, you're a part of the fabric of football up there, Northwest Georgia, Southern Tennessee, right in that part of the state where it is an absolute hotbed for the sport. So when the Red Wolves knocked on your door and said, hey, we'd like for you to be a part of this project that we are continuing to grow and be a part of USL League One, and it's close to home where you can make almost a double impact. What was it like to have them approach you to sit there and say, hey, we'd like for you to be a part of this?
Um, it was definitely, I would kind of say surreal because like I had some connections with the Red Wolves, but at the same time, Red Wolves started after I left for college. So I didn't get to play academy for Red Wolves, but just having some of the connection in the staff, still believing in me, still trusting me in my game, and saying, "Hey, we know that you could come out here and help this program grow or help this program become something special," was basically like it was kind of I felt loved by them. It was that sense of belief, sense of trust again, how I always feel like, and what basically takes my game out and basically makes me express myself in my game.
And you got to spend some time, obviously, with Dalton Red Wolves in USL League Two, also as
Mm-hmm.
a part of this process. But for someone who's never been to Northwest Georgia, to see Dalton play Southeast, to see Dalton play Northwest, to see anything going on in that part of the state and in that part of the country, how would you describe what soccer means to where you've been able to be a part of it for as long as you have? How would you break down how important it is?
Soccer's everything here. Whether you're young, you're old, everybody playing soccer is just like a sense of joy, a sense of to be able to express themselves, a sense to be able to relax from anything outside of work, school, anything other than just life. Just be able to go out in the pitch for a couple hours and just relax, be stress free, and just have that joy that they always have as a kid.
So, what do you think is the next stage in growth for you? What are you working on as you are turning into this young professional now? What did you sit there and it's like, okay, my college time is through. I now have this contract with Chattanooga. What do I need to work on to become a better professional? What are you working on right now?
Just learning from the older guys. Trying to gain as much knowledge. I mean, it's a similar game, but at the same time, it's a professional game. So players are smarter. They do less running, but they do more impactful things than in college, I would say. So just trying to learn from them, asking questions, doing the little details, and just trying to see how I can implement my game, but also learn from older, experienced guys and try to take some of their stuff and put it into my game.
When it comes to USL League One, obviously your time with Dalton Red Wolves in League Two gave you kind of a window into USL. But when you look at USL League One from a competition standpoint, there's always USL Championship and then Major League Soccer Division One, Division Two, and so on. But when you look at USL League One from a competition standpoint, what has resonated with you about what the league is going to be like?
Definitely very competitive. Obviously, the transition from USL 2 to college just to USL 1, you can just tell that this is their life. I mean, you go out there and compete so you can have that next game or have that next year contract option. If this is what they're playing for and this is what their life is going to be. So if they want to move on to championship, MLS next, MLS, they have to go out there and basically ball out. So you can tell and sense it in training that, hey, you got to be on your A game or you won't do much out here.
When it comes to being on your A game, how do you keep that from taking up too much of your brain, because you know that you want to continue to grow as a pro. You know you
Mhm.
want to continue to have the team succeed, especially with your first year in this environment. But how do you keep that from weighing you down and forcing you to and have too much weight on you? How do you focus on the task at hand and not have it weigh you down?
I mean, just like I said, talking to the older guys on the team, more experienced guys on the team. I mean, there's times that I've been stressed out. I've noticed myself, hey, I'm not doing so good like I should be doing. But they're also saying, hey, it's okay, just move on. It's the next one. It's always the next one. And just from learning from stuff like that, it's just like, it's okay to mess up. It's okay to mess up here. It's okay to mess up there. But the next play might be the difference maker. So just keep playing and try to learn from your mistakes and try to help yourself from those mistakes.
Red Wolves are creating a pathway to professional soccer, and Omar Hernandez has been a part of it and is a great part of it. Red Wolves begin their season March 15th on the road against Lexington SC. Get Union Omaha for the home opener on Saturday, March the 30th. Omar, thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1. Congratulations on putting pen to paper. Congrats on being with the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Looking forward to seeing this next stage in your career. Thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.